Queen Patty here. I mean, Yummy.
Really?
I have a lot of friends who are very either disenchanted or very worried or upset about the world and the way it's kind of going and the way things are and the way people are. They've vented to me about certain things that they see and it makes them worry about the future ahead for their kids, grandkids, and whatnot. And I see the same things. So it's not a question that they're wrong. I'm not saying that they're wrong. They see exactly what they see and they are right on point.
Hmm.
My thing is this. I don't think it's a matter of how fucked up the world is, because it is. There's a lot of things that are fucked up about the world. But really, it's a matter of their perspective.
Hmm.
And what I mean by that is at the end of the day, these people are, and I mean that in a general sense, are are just as chaotic as they were since I've been home.
Hmm.
Right?
Right.
Has things elevated? Only, and I think the elevation in the chaos is only due to our access to information quicker and
Hmm.
longer. We get it news 24/7. Where
Hmm.
back when I was a kid, after 10:30, that was a wrap. you know.
Yeah.
So now you have 24-hour news and you've got instant access media wise with social media and everything to just about everything that's happening. It elevates the level of making the world seem more chaotic than it was in the past, when I really don't think that was the case, because these people is just as fucked up as they were back then.
You're
you
right.
know so
Right.
even for these people that think they want to live in 1906 with 1906 laws and rules and this, that, and the other, these motherfuckers didn't even live back then. So how you
Right.
figure you want to go back there?
Right.
You know.
Right.
So I think that it's more that their perspective, and like I said, I'll reiterate, I'm not saying that they're wrong. People are fucked up. People are chaotic. The world is really all screwed up by that. But my point is that it's no more fucked up than it has been. When has it been this just peaceful harmony kind of world? It doesn't exist. It didn't exist.
Right.
So it's a matter of their perspective. They have to change their perspective because the world is not going to get into be a better place. Well, maybe when AI started making these motherfuckers, their robots.
Really? AI? Yeah.
Right.
Right. Right.
So that's just me. That's just me. You know, what's your
Yeah.
thoughts?
Well, like you say, the world has been in a messed up state for a long time. Like back in the day, like you say, when we were kids, when because you're a little older than me, but like when I was growing up, the news came
Mhm.
on at 11. So you got the 11 o'clock news. And after that, that was it. You only got kind of the news that was surrounding cities. But then they came out with the world news and CNN running all day long. And you have people that sit and watch that stuff all. It's depressing to me. I don't even watch the well, they start changing the news because you start getting news in the morning, which was good when you had school because then you knew if school was closed in the snow. But after that, it's like then you start getting 12 o'clock news. Then you got the 5 o'clock news, the 6 o'clock news, the 7 o'clock. It's like, okay, this is too much news and it's depressing. Has it always been bad? Yeah, it's always been bad. It's just gotten worse. And a lot of it, like you say, you didn't really know all of that was going on because your local news was your local news. They wasn't giving you, they may give you some news from the little suburb areas around you, but you didn't get the world news. And now you get news from everywhere. I don't want to know what's going on in Japan. I don't live in Japan. I'm not finna go to Japan. So why do I want to know what's going on over there? I don't. So it's like, I'd say you gotta live each day one day at a time. You can't you can't go by what the news is telling you and live your life because you'll go crazy keeping up with the news. You just gotta take one day at a time, adapt to what's going on.
Well, I think too that they have a hard time, and I get it. You worry about they're worried about the future for the kids,
I understand
and
that.
I wholeheartedly get it. You know,
Hmm.
some of them are getting older, and I truly believe a lot of this shit, especially that you can't control, you have to let it go. That doesn't mean that you can't have a critical thought about what's going on.
True.
And there's some things you can impact, some things you can't impact. You worry about truly those things in the input of what you are giving your child versus what they're going to get out here. After that, it's kind of a crapshoot, you know. It is, and a lot of it you have no control of. You have no control when the kid goes outside the door in the house and living their life and doing those things. You have no control of it, you know. But the world has always been fucked up. There ain't been this peace and harmony and all this other bullshit they try to sell us that somehow it existed. It has not existed like that. So
Hmm.
like I said, their perspective has to change and stop worrying
Hmm.
about all this shit. It's gonna be whatever it is gonna be. That's what it's going to be.
Exactly. And like you started off on that conversation. We have kids. We can train our kids. We can teach them right from wrong, teach them everything we know that's good for them. But once they get older and venture out, we have no more control because we did our part. We've taught them, we provided for them.
Mhm.
But once they get older, we have no control because they start developing their own thoughts, they own and take their own actions. And all you can do is hope for the best for them. Because I could tell my kids, hey, don't go out and rob a bank. But they get it with a different crowd of people and say, hey, let's go rob a bank. At some point they may say, well, my mama told me not to, but that sounds like fun. Let's go do it. I'm just saying that hypothetically. I can't change that because I done already told them don't do it, but then they still choose to do it. That's out of my control. But then they have to deal with the consequences. Yeah, I may still do everything within my power to help them not have to suffer, but they have already made their own choice. That's out of my control. But if they was to go by my teaching, which you can only teach them so much because once they go off to school, they're gonna learn once they get with their little friends. It's always something different. So
This is correct. It's correct.
yeah. Anyway, all we can do
It's
is hope and pray for the best.